Tonight was SmackDown from Toronto. WWE had a legit sellout. 15,000 people is what WrestleTix said. WWE claimed closer to 18,000. Whatever the number was, there were a lot of people there tonight. PW Insider, in fact, said the word going around is that it was the highest gate or highest grossing attendance they've ever had for a SmackDown in Toronto. So this was a big show tonight. Now, why do you think that was? Why do you think they had 15,000 or 18,000 or 50,000 people, whatever the exaggerated number is going to be? One reason. You can give all the credit to two men. Kevin Owens, mostly Kevin Owens, and CM Punk. Because tonight, they were in the main event wrestling for the WWE Championship. And this was about as much of a one-match show as you will ever see. When I tell you this was a one-match show, this was a one-segment show is what this was. And I've had to hear from people over the last few weeks, a couple weeks now. We were kind of joking about this on TNT the other night. SmackDown's turned a corner. And I'm like, can we wait a little bit before we proclaim that SmackDown has turned some sort of creative corner here? Because I haven't seen it, okay? And one good SmackDown does not make a streak of great SmackDowns. Let's just wait and see what happens. It's great that CM Punk got moved over to SmackDown. I think that could benefit the show. It's great that we have Kevin Owens back, right? There are signs that would lead you to believe that, hey, maybe we have better times ahead for SmackDown. And maybe we do. Tonight was not one of those times. SmackDown tonight was largely a very boring show, and it shocks me that they had that many people in the building tonight. They had 15,000 people, 18,000 people, and this is the show that they gave them. This is the show that they gave them? Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. A boring 90-plus minutes with a very good main event. That's why I say this was a one-match show. I was very much looking forward to this. It's hard to believe that for as long as Kevin Owens and CM Punk have been doing this, for as long as they have been in pro wrestling and they've crossed paths, over the years, and they kind of came from the same places, they've never had a match before. This was legitimately their first ever match, their first ever one-on-one encounter tonight on this show. Punk had a great match last month with Sami Zayn when he won the WWE Championship. Kevin Owens, he just came back after 17 months on the shelf, had a very good match at SummerSlam. I mean, they got 8 minutes. So, as much as you can have this great, wonderful match in 8 minutes. So I was very much looking forward to it. I thought these two delivered until we got to the finish. And then we got pretty much what I expected to get, which was a bunch of fuckery. Because as much as I wanted to see Kevin Owens walk out of Toronto as the WWE champion, I knew in my heart that that was not going to happen. And I knew that Sami Zayn was going to show up as soon as Sami got screwed at the end of the show last week when he was promised by Nick Aldis, if you beat Cody Rhodes, I will give you the first shot against whoever comes out of this match tonight. You will get a championship match. And then Sami came out last week and the match never even started. Because Randy Orton went out there, right? He brawled all over the building with Cody Rhodes. And I said, this man got screwed yet again. It feeds into this whole gimmick. Justice for Sami. There's no way that we're not going to see Sami Zayn pop up and play some kind of role in the end of this match. Even if he tries to help Kevin Owens, it's going to blow up in his face. Surprise, surprise. That's exactly what we got here. Kevin Owens, he was this close to becoming WWE champion for the first time in his career, but the streak continues. I'm not even sure what the exact number is. I thought he was 0 for 13. He might be. It's in the double digits. Of all the opportunities he's ever had to become the champion, he still cannot get the job done. And Sami Zayn tried. He tried to help him. He tried. Ultimately, Kevin did not want his help. He got blasted in the head with the belt for his troubles, and CM Punk was more than happy to take advantage, get the pin, and is still the champion. Oh, that's right. Steve Mello. Shout out to Steve, by the way. Steve is in the chat. Steve said he was going to the show tonight. So, Steve, I want you to chime in the chat when you get a chance and let me know what your experience was. Now, I'm guessing you probably took the kids. I would imagine they probably had more fun than I did watching this show. He says he's stuck in the parking lot. Everyone is honking. I'm not sure is that less or more of a pleasurable experience than this show was tonight? I'm not sure. Actually, we do have a message from him right here. says heading home. Hot crowd all night. They were hot. I will give lots of love to the fans in Toronto. Main event was the best part, he says, even with the predictable Sammy interference. Oba and LA Knight against The Vision was the dark match. I see. No comment on the rest of the show, huh? Sounds about right. So now I guess we have to wait and see if CM Punk is even going to be on the Sunday night's main event card. They have no PLE in the month of September, unless you consider Sunday night's main event to be a PL. I don't even know what it means anymore to be a premium live event. Premium live events in WWE don't feel premium. What does it even mean? What does it even mean in 2026 with this company to be a premium live event? I don't know. I will say this. I mean, they've got a couple of big matches already signed for that show. They already had that sign coming into tonight. We knew Cody and Randy. They're going to have a match on that show. And we found out on Monday that it's going to be Obafemi and Braun Breaker. Those are the only two matches coming into tonight that we knew of. We actually have a third, which before I get to that, there is at least the possibility that they could add something with Punk, Owens, and Sami Zayn. Maybe we get a triple threat match on that show. Maybe we get Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn on that show. Something that, there's a fresh match that we haven't seen before, but I mean, in all honesty, in all seriousness, we kind of knew, we had to know that that was going to be the direction coming out of this show. So I'm just not sure if we're going to get a WWE title match on that show. Punk is not advertised for Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank would be the next real PLE that they're doing. And they released a whole schedule, Punk's entire schedule, through the end of October. Suppose they could always add a date, but he is not listed for Money in the Bank as of this moment. So I'm not sure what the timeline is going to be. You watch this show, you come out of this show thinking we're headed for a triple threat. All three of these men, they're all in the same orbit now. Because there was a report coming into the show tonight, it might have been Alvarez, who said that this was only supposed to be a one and done with Punk and Owens. That's not the impression I got coming out of the show tonight. Maybe in terms of a one-on-one, it was going to be one and done. But all three of these men now are all intertwined when it comes to the WWE Championship. Now we wait and see when that next match is going to be. But honestly, in terms of Kevin Owens, it felt to me like it was a now or never thing. It really did. It felt like this was now or never for Kevin Owens. And if he didn't win the championship tonight, look, people have been waiting 10 years since he was the Universal Champion. All the Kevin Owens fans, because we've gotten messages here on the streams. I've gotten emails for the mailbag for the podcast. Do I think Kevin Owens will ever be WWE Champion? Will he ever get to the top of the mountain again? And as much as I would love to see it, my answer has always been, honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. Because you would think if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. And I know he just came back, but they built this big match here for Toronto, Canada, and he's in the main event against CM Punk. And it just felt to me like this may have been his last real shot. I'd love to be wrong about that, but I stopped taking bets long ago on whether or not Kevin Owens is going to get another run on top as a world champion. But you know what? If Sami Zayn can be WWE champion, there is no reason that Kevin Owens can't be. I just don't get the sense it's going to be something that is going to be happening anytime soon. But I mentioned that we do have another match official for Sunday night's main event. Would you like to know what this match is? It's actually potentially a pair of matches. Now we know Trick Williams has lost twice to Baron Corbin. He lost his United States Championship to him. He lost the rematch to him. He wanted another shot. Baron Corbin said no. And then he and Little Yachty beat him up. And Corbin said, I'll tell you what I'll do. You want to end this? You want to get one more shot at the United States Championship? Fine. Sunday night's main event sounds like a good time for it. But here's what we're going to do. I want your little friend first. He wants Yachty. And they made it official. Triple H put this out during the show. They have the graphic all ready to go. This is what we're getting on Sunday night's main event in Yachty's hometown of Atlanta. Lil Yachty will step into the ring officially for the first time one-on-one against Baron Corbin. And all he has to do is survive 5 minutes. If he can survive, it's a beat the clock challenge. We're getting a beat the clock challenge is basically what this is. All he has to do is not get killed or pinned. And if he can do that and he can outlast 5 minutes in the ring with Baron Corbin, Trick Williams will get his rematch that night for the United States Championship, which means A, he's getting his rematch, and B, he's winning the belt back. Because there ain't no fucking way Trick Williams is losing 3 straight to Baron Corbin. That ain't happened. Look at the frill. Look at the hair on that belt. I mean, you had to know when he showed up last week with that belt still looking like that. It was going right back to Trick. So now at least we know when Trick Williams is getting his belt back. We learned that much tonight. This is what they're doing. Trick Williams, look, they've shrunk him down behind Lil Yachty. Look at this. They have shrunk him down. He looks like Yachty's manager here in this image. What the fuck are we doing? Baron Corbin against Lil Yachty. Amazing. This is your Friday Night Smackdown review. It is August 21st, 2026. I am the Solomonster. Thank you guys for being with me here.
I have one pair of skinny jeans, and I'm going to wear them every week just to piss you off.
Oh, yeah. Big Dave. Kratos. There he is. Dave Bautista. He got the role, man. I feel bad. I feel bad for the guy who... God, what's his name again? I just forgot his name. The guy who hurt his bicep, and he had the role of a lifetime, and it went out the window now. They're reshooting this whole Kratos God of War TV show, and Dave Bautista just slid right in there, and he got the role. He's looking a lot slimmer these days. He doesn't look like Kratos. He's going to have to put on a lot of mass really fast. He's 57 years old. It ain't going to be, well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you put the mass on, but 57 years old, trying to put mass on in a short period of time is not going to be as easy as it was when he was 37. Enough! Bobbert has had enough. Bobbert 33 with the 15. Ryan Hurst, thank you. Yes, he was in, the Odyssey. Just saw him in the Odyssey. Hey, Bobbert, thank you, man. I also have to give before we go on here, because we had some activity before I went live tonight, and I have to say thank you to this fine fellow, James Crawford, who actually dropped a few super chats, but he dropped a $100 bomb. It says, I love you solo. James Crawford, James, you are the man. Thank you, brother. Thank you for that and the other one. I had to give him a shout out here before we moved on. We live in a world of CGI and AI. They can glow up Batista real. Yeah, but still, dude, you can't look like this. You know, you can't be a stick figure. You got to put some of that mass on. You got to give them something to work with. I think he's going to kill it. I think Dave is going to kill it. Dave is a very good actor. I've said it here on the streams before when we've talked about this stuff. Knock at the Cabin, I believe, is the name of that movie. I saw that movie, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, a few years ago. I thought it was pretty bad. But the character that he played, that Batista played, was the best part of the entire movie. I thought he was fucking great in that movie. So anyway, I think he'll kill that role. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. That would help out the stream and the channel very much. I do appreciate it. Let's bring up the wheel here. Our little wheel of fun. Let's find out how many likes we're looking for tonight to do Be the Booker. Me spinning this wheel is more exciting than about 90% of SmackDown tonight. Automatic. Oh my goodness. You guys are in luck tonight. Sons of bitches. Automatic. Be the Booker. So there it is. Guaranteed. 1 round of B2B. We do have the bonus goal going. Maybe we'll hit 2 rounds. But there it is. The wheel was in your favor tonight. Yes, right. That's right. All right, let's get into this here. See, that's how you want to start a review right there. By the way, what did I tell you all those weeks ago? I was talking about all the ads and all the places that they have now, right? I mean, they've had the ads on the LED boards, and they have ads everywhere. They're all over the mat. People have their names now on the mat. I said, it's only a matter of time before we get ads on the lid of the announce desk. I only said this a few weeks ago. And the show starts, and they go to Joe Tess and Wade Barrett, and sure enough, they have fucking KFC logos all over the lid of the announce desk. So now it's just a matter of time until we start getting the ads on the actual like referee shirts. Some of the wrestlers will have their sponsors on there. It'll be like UFC, and they'll have sponsors all over their gear. You'll see. They'll look like a bunch of NASCAR drivers when they come out to the ring. They'll have fucking patches all over them, badges. What's the one that Dominic Mysterio has? A dude wipes. They'll have a fucking dude wipe patch. My God. In the back, Sami Zayn was complaining. What else is new? To Nick Aldis. I think me and Sammy would get along just fine. He was complaining to Nick Aldis about everything that's happened to him since losing the WWE Championship last month. Not getting his rematch for one, but then having the match, or what was supposed to be a singles match with Finn Balor at SummerSlam, and then adding Gunther and adding Kevin Owens to that match at the last minute. And then he talked about also the match last week that never happened with Cody Rhodes because Randy Orton came out and he ruined it. What business does Randy Orton have being out there? And he says this, and of course, Armed Anderson. There's Armed Anderson. He's got his Glock. We know one thing that Armed Anderson doesn't like. He doesn't like a dig dancer. You saw Dark Side of the Ring. One thing Arn Anderson is not fond of, if you are in the business to wrestle, if you are a professional wrestler, then that is what he expects you to be. He expects you to be a pro wrestler, not a dick dancer. Just remember that. Randy Orton shows up behind Sami Zayn. And he asks, where are you going with this? All of a sudden, we hear Cody Rhodes screaming. And we see the screen behind them. Cody's out in the ring. And he's yelling for Randy Orton to come on out. So Nick Aldis, he tells Randy, stay calm. He leaves. He's going to go talk to Cody, Aldis is. Meanwhile, Sammy continues complaining, and Randy he slips away. He doesn't want to hear it. And then Sammy abuses another water bottle, smacks it off the equipment case. Deputy Dog has no idea what I'm talking about here. Deputy Dog, you need to go back and watch the Renegade episode of Dark Side of the Ring. It'll make a lot more sense. Renegade used to be an exotic male dancer before he got into pro wrestling. And so Arn Anderson had to wrestle him at one of the WCW pay-per-views. In fact, I believe he lost his television championship to Renegade. But Arn was not happy about doing it because he believes that if you are going to get into the business, you should be a pro wrestler. Not a dick dancer. That's what he said. All this comes out. He tells Cody, look, what happened last week at the end of the show was a near catastrophe. You've already got your match at Sunday night's main event. And he doesn't get to say a whole lot more. Before Randy Orton's music hits, he comes out. Cody's ready to throw down right now. Aldis gets in the middle of things here. Orton's outside the ring. Cody's in, but he gets in between them and he says, look, I'm sick of the two of you putting other people in danger. Says, you can kill each other in Atlanta next month, but if either of you touches the other, that person will never again get a WWE Championship match. So there's your there's your no physicality clause. Orton said that he would be Mr. Professional. He would follow the rules and do what he's told. He's not going to risk not getting number 15. Randy, though, he does have a question for Cody. He brings up Cody almost doing to him last week at the end of the show with that chair what Randy did to him before WrestleMania. But he knows that if Cody would have swung that chair and crushed Orton's head like a grape, Cody would not be able to live with himself. That's the difference between the two of them. Cody would have regrets. He wouldn't be able to look himself in the mirror. Meanwhile, Orton, he did the same thing. He had no remorse because he knows how to be the worst version of himself. Then there's Cody. Cody's a good guy. You're a good guy, Cody. Well, they're really leaning into this whole good guy stuff. Says Cody will always be a good guy, the American nightmare, more like the American daydream. So Cody asked the question last week. brings up this question that Cody said, Randy Orton used to be the legend killer. Well, who kills the legend? Right? Who kills Randy? Who's going to be that guy? When it comes to who kills Randy, it's not going to be Cody. And Cody says, yeah, you painted the announce desk with Cody's blood and then you lost at WrestleMania. Randy might go on to break all kinds of records, but when it's all said and done, Orton will still come back to Cody because Cody is the one who will end him. And the key line here was at the very end, Cody says, and that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. Interesting. There have been subtle hints and teases over the years, a couple times, that they've interacted on TV, Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman, where we've had these debates here sometimes on the streams even, or in the questions, where do I think that Paul Heyman is going to ultimately manage Cody? Or when Cody goes heel, is he going to recruit Paul Heyman to be his wise man, right? Are they going to put the two of them together? I can't say no. I mean, I think there's a not zero chance of it happening. They've teased it a couple of different times now over the last few years. Heyman has always been very complimentary of Cody, very respectful of him, and complimentary of his father as well. But this, to me, was the strongest hint yet that maybe there is some sort of, direction here for that, where he kind of goes to Heyman for help. Thing is, with what we saw here, all of a sudden Heyman, people are going to be chirping about this. Heyman has now been brought into two different matches. The only two matches that up until tonight had been announced for that Sunday night's main event show have now invoked the name of Heyman or Heyman's involvement, because it looks like everything in the Obafemi and Braun Breaker match is being built around Paul Heyman after what we saw on Monday. Now Cody drops this line and all of a sudden the conversation turns to, well, is there any significance to that? Is Cody going to align with Paul Heyman, right? Everything seems to revolve around Heyman in some form or fashion here. I mean, it's ridiculous. But beyond that, this was not much of a segment. What really happened here? Nothing. We know Cody hates Randy. Randy hates Cody. Now they can't touch. We have one more SmackDown to go before we get... Actually, is it one or two? No, it's two. It's two more. Two more SmackDowns. So, oh boy, no physicality now between these two. Exciting. I'm on the edge of my seat. I can't wait. I thought it was 1 week. Fuck, it's two. Anyway, this was fine. This was nothing terribly special. After this, though, we had Damian Priest and we had R-Truth. They got their rematch, unlike Sami Zayn, for the WWE Tag Team Championships that they lost last week to the MFTs. Tama Tonga and Talla Tonga. In the back before the match, the MFTs were cutting a promo when Haku showed up, and he was censored when he again called them the motherfucking Tongans. Sounds a lot cooler when he says it. Oh, he's Haku. I mean, anything he says or does is going to be cool as fuck. Him walking down to the ring with that walking stick. Actually, someone said it looks like a shower rod. And I can't get that out of my head now. Every time I see him walking down to the ring, it's him and his shower rod. I have to say this also. When they came out to the ring, the music, that MFT's instrumental, is that Talla Tonga's theme? I think it's just Talla Tonga's theme. We didn't hear his theme very often because we didn't see him have matches on SmackDown by himself very often. But I'm pretty sure it's his music. I think it's a song called Destroyer. It's pretty good. I think it's a pretty badass. I mean, it's just an instrumental, but I think it's a pretty badass theme. I shit on a lot of the themes that we hear on WWE television because they fucking suck. But when there's a good one or a decent one, I have to give it credit. I have to call them out and say, hey, you know what? That one sounds pretty good. It's Raiden's staff. No, it's a shower rod. Don't tell Haku I said that. So they showed the War Raiders multiple times, watching from the back with their AAA tag team titles. We had R-Truth out here in this match at 54 years old, doing a slingshot plancha to the floor. Good on him. For what I was expecting this match to be, which wasn't much, this was better than what I expected. I thought they had a perfectly solid little match here. Truth hit the John Cena AA for a near fall. He's still jacking all of Cena's moves. Talla Tonga broke up the pin on that. Priest clotheslined Talla Tonga out to the floor and then followed him out, but he ended up getting chokeslammed onto the apron. So at that point, back inside, poor R-Truth, he fell victim to their high-low Red Cross, we were told is what it's called, the Red Cross finish. And the MFTs retained the tag team titles. When the match was over, Truth was down on the mat. He's licking his wounds. Priest is very disappointed. And he climbs up on the apron. He gets back in the ring. The music stops. And they really wanted you to think that this was going to be a heel turn. I was hoping that it would be. Because I think just babyface Damian Priest has run its course and is just boring as shit right now. So any kind of change for him, I think, is going to benefit him. And he's standing over him, and Truth gets up to his feet, and then he just hugs him. And you can see him mouth the words, "We'll get the belts back." I hope not. I hope not. Let this be the end. Let this be the end. They had a nice little tag team thing going for a while. They tried to play off the old Judgment Day comedy between the two of them, the whole comedic dynamic. They won the tag team titles. They got their little run, and now it's over. Damian Priest, he doesn't need to be doing this. So we didn't get the heel turn tonight. That doesn't mean we're not going to get it. We just didn't get it tonight. But again, for what we got here, I mean, again, I thought it was fine. Obviously, based on the promos we've seen over the last few weeks with Shinsuke Nakamura, we know Shinsuke and Hiromu are coming for the MFTs. Last week, we had a video promo with the... Oh, my God. God, that reminds me of that TMZ story that I was unfortunately reading earlier this morning about Brie Bella. Oh. About how she shit herself. Every time... Now I hear this, and that's the first thing I think of now. Brie Bella shitting herself. Venom Katetsu. The 25 drop. Thank you, brother. It says, saw Blackberry Jack Daniels at the store today. I'm skeptical. Have you tried it? When I'm in a whiskey mood, I go for the standard Jack or Honey Jack. The apple is okay, but I prefer the Captain Morgan apple rum. Happy Friday, my dude. That reminds me, I have to go to the liquor store tomorrow because I have to bring with me. I'm going over to someone's house on Sunday, so I don't want to show up empty-handed. Usually it's a bottle of Maker's Mark and then maybe, I don't know, Tito's vodka. People seem to love vodka. No, I have not tried the Blackberry Jack. That doesn't sound very appetizing to me. I'll tell you what, the apple is not bad. I like the apple. I still prefer the regular, but the apple is actually not bad. Anyway, happy Friday, brother. Thank you for the love. But what I was saying is we've seen these vignettes over the last couple of weeks, and Nakamura has been teasing, bringing in a partner, bringing in someone. And last week we could see the silhouette in the background. And then Nakamura was using words like chaos and time bomb, right? They were dropping not so subtle hints about who it was. And tonight, later in the show, but I may as well mention it now, we got the big reveal of who the partner is, who this person is that Shinsuke Nakamura has brought in. It is, in fact, Hiromu Takahashi, the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. What was it, 4 times? I believe 4 times, 5 times. He has now made his voyage over to the United States. He is now on the SmackDown roster. He is no longer Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu is dead. His new name, I want to make sure I pronounce this right, because the spelling of it is not how he said it here on the show. It's spelled K-Y... spelled K-Y-O-K-I, but he pronounced it as Choach. So that's what I'm going to call him until somebody tells me otherwise. His new name is Choach, which I looked it up. It translates to madness or insanity in Japanese. I think a lot of the decisions that this creative team makes are Choach. So that's his new name. He said that after competing around the world, he's finally arrived in WWE. He said the stronger his opponents are, the more fun he has. Nakamura said that Choach is not afraid of chaos. He enjoys it. Said that there will be an explosion when strong style and madness collide. New Japan is slowly dying, says Maddie. Actually, quite the opposite. Feels like New Japan might be experiencing a little bit of a renaissance finally. They got their young guys stepping in. That G1 final was fucking awesome. And it's good. It's good that finally those young guys are sort of taking the mantle, like who's going to be the next ace. It's been a long time coming. They relied on the old guard for so long. It really screwed them over there for a while. His name is Chocha. Well, that's not what he said. I'm just going by what he called himself here in the vignette. I went back and I rewound it so I could listen to it. I thought I heard him say Choach. Choach is Choach is Spanish. It is not PG. It's not PG. I told you, until I'm proven wrong, I'm calling him Choach. I don't care what fucking language it's in. No sign of Daryl the cat, by the way. Looks like Daryl is being left at home for the time being. But yeah, they're coming in. They're going to wrestle the MFTs. I don't know how many more of these vignettes we're going to get. Maybe they'll show up next week. Who knows? Just be aware, I think the next 2 weeks of SmackDown, I believe, are taped shows. I know they're doing a double taping on Monday. That's why Raw is airing early on Netflix at 6 p.m. Eastern. So they're taping SmackDown for next Friday on Monday. So the spoilers will be floating around all week. And then I believe, when are they taping the following? I think next Friday, maybe they're taping the following week's SmackDown. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be live again for SmackDown for a few more weeks. And I won't be here for that. I'll be in Los Angeles. Choach has got to be a joke. How about Coach? I would call him Coach. You can call him whatever the fuck you want, Nathaniel. I'm calling him Choach. In the back, Kathy Kelly is with the WWE champion, CM Punk. Tonight, she says it is hostile territory, enemy territory for CM Punk. Punk says that he thrives in pressure and hostile territories. Kevin Owens, meanwhile, has been fighting imaginary enemies. Punk has changed and grown while Owens is still the same guy he was 20 years ago. Randy Orton then shows up, and he warns Punk that after he deals with Cody, he's coming to take number 15. And Punk says he's looking forward to it. WrestleMania 27 rematch being teased. I don't really need to see CM Punk and Randy Orton again. I'm good. No thanks. I'm good. After a break, they replayed the stuff from last week. Best part of SmackDown last week was the opener. This week it was the end of the show. Last week it was the beginning of the show. That was the segment with Nick Aldis and Chelsea Green where he was taking away the championship from her. She just cut this impassioned promo pleading her case. He ended up changing his mind. He gave her 30 days to get herself medically cleared. Because God forbid we should have a women's champion that doesn't defend her title in at least 30 days. We can't have that now. So they replayed that. Now we come back live in the back. Chelsea is pacing back and forth and out of, I don't know if it was her locker room or the trainer's room, but here comes Tiffany Stratton. And she's all banged up after the Irresistible Forces did a number on her last week. And of course, Tiffany lost her United States Championship to JC Jane, Fatal Influence. They took care of that last week. So it was not a good week for Tiffany Stratton. And Chelsea said, look, I want to take you out tonight to dinner. And Tiffany says, look, I know you were just trying to help last week. They're walking down the hallway and they run into Paige. And who just happened to be standing there. Paige, who had her promo cut from SmackDown last week, which she was not happy about. And so there was no further developments or anything involving Paige and Nikki Bella, who are currently feuding. Paige just happened to be standing there. She interjected. She said, look, Chelsea, I know what it's like to have an injury take everything away from you. And she's putting her over and kind of giving her a nice little pep talk there. Fatal Influence shows up, and everyone's yelling at each other. Paige said she wants to challenge JC Jane for the Women's United States Championship, and then Fatal Influence, they just left without giving an answer. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at Paige against JC for the U.S. title and Nikki Bella screwing over Paige. Is that what we're looking at here? Paige here. Yeah. Paige here. God, I forgot about that. It's terrifying. I guess that's probably what we're looking at. Yes, Paige was there. She was there tonight. Hey, Jake, what's going on? Elsewhere, Blake Monroe. Let's talk about Blake. Blake Monroe was in the back getting ready for her match, or was it Blake? Because she had her hair up in curls. All hail, Blake. She had her hair up in curls. And I'm looking at her, and I'm first fucking thought I'm looking at Toni Storm. I thought I was watching the wrong show. Which also reminded me, by the way, that I do wonder what's going on with Toni Storm. We have not heard anything about Toni Storm. Toni Storm has been, she's been silent. We haven't seen her. We haven't heard from her. We haven't heard anything about her. I thought I was looking at Timeless Toni. We were looking at Timeless Blake Monroe here as she's going through this rack of clothing, trying to figure out what she's going to wear tonight. So Kathy Kelly shows up, and Blake says, even when they give me nothing, I'll do what I do best and make people talk about me. A lot of truth in that statement. She says this isn't the debut that she envisioned. She should be in a WWE Women's Championship match. But instead, she's here in crappy Toronto, looking for an outfit and fighting her old friend, Giulia. So Kathy says that Blake is going to look good in anything. And she agrees, and then she takes her part of her top off. She's already got a costume. She's already got an outfit on. She thanks her, and she heads out to the ring. We head into a break. And on the flip side of this break, at long last, we're going to get the in-ring debut. The main roster in-ring debut for Blake Monroe. And Giulia is finally going to get her revenge, or try to go for revenge, on the woman who attacked her 7 years ago, it feels like. Now we've circled back around to this. When did Blake attack Giulia? When did Giulia have that match with Kiana James? It had to be at least a month ago, right? 6 weeks. Why the fuck did it take this long to get to this point? But I'm like, okay, you know what? Here we are. Blake and Giulia one-on-one. Except, yeah, right, not really. Psych. Yeah, no, I don't think so. The match never started. Instead, Giulia came out, and I was shocked. I'll tell you why I was shocked. I was shocked because Giulia was actually getting an entrance. Something felt very off to me. I'm like, why are they giving Giulia a full entrance here? That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't they be giving Blake a full entrance for her debut? She already said that Triple H told her that she's not keeping the same entrance that she had in NXT. So I don't know what her new entrance is going to be. She said, well, I trust Triple H. And Triple H does tend to be good when it comes to stuff like that in terms of like creative entrances and stuff. So I don't know what ultimately her actual entrance will look like. But Giulia starts coming out to the ring, and then sure enough, we found out why she was getting an entrance here. She gets jumped by Blake Monroe. And Blake threw her into the barricade. She threw her into the ring steps. Then she threw her into the ring, and Blake nailed her with a headbutt. And then she hit a neutralizer. And then the referee waved Blake away as he was kneeling over Giulia. And it's not like Giulia was even out. She wasn't even selling it like she was out cold. She kind of popped back up, and the referee is just sort of hovering over her and telling Blake to stay away. And then they played Blake's music. And she left. That's it. I guess the timekeeper made the decision that this match is not going to take place. The timekeeper or the music person, whoever it was, I didn't see the referee say anything. And so that was the end of this segment. I kid you not. That was the entire thing. Even the fans in the crowd, it looked like, were like, what the fuck? What was that? And then it was over. 60 seconds, boom, done. They're going in very hard on this idea that Blake feels that she should debut in a women's championship match. She mentioned it a few times tonight. She's mentioned it before. Actually, in that segment last week that didn't air on the show, they had it as like an online exclusive. She was talking to Nick Aldis. Aldis was like, I've been getting a lot of complaints about you from the other women on the roster. And she's like, well, I'm fine with making my debut next week. I think it should be in a WWE Women's Championship match. And instead, she ended up with this Giulia match. So they're really leaning into this idea. Maybe this is going to continue, where every time Nick Aldis tries to put this woman in a match, we get the same thing, where she jumps her opponent, the match doesn't start, and eventually this is all leading to her making her debut in a women's championship match once Chelsea Green has been medically cleared and she can actually defend her title again. And maybe there is some weird warped plan here for her to eventually debut and win the women's title. And we'll look back on this and say, you know what? This was all still pretty fucking lame, but at least it went somewhere. At least it led to something fruitful for Blake Monroe. But to do that would be to give them the benefit of the doubt, which I've given them in the past. I'm done doing that. They haven't done anything to really deserve that. We'll find out soon enough. All I can tell you is that what we're seeing, what has played out over the last few months and what we saw tonight, and it fucking sucked. And then I had a couple of people, when I said like WTF, I'm like, what the fuck? That's all I said. And there were a couple of people who, of course, will defend this shit to their dying breath. And they're like, well, isn't this better than Giulia taking another loss? I thought it was great. First of all, Giulia she's cooked, okay? She's done. Doesn't matter if it's SmackDown, Raw, she's finished. It's over. All these stories, by the way, and believe me, I'll be talking about Dragunov on Sunday, but all these stories about the importance of analytics and metrics and how much they really pay attention now more than ever to stuff like that. And if that's true, and if that's the case, Giulia was cooked before any of us even realized it. She doesn't stand a chance. But you just watch the way that she's been utilized and booked on these shows now for months and months and months. It almost doesn't even matter what they do with her at this point. So would it really have been that much worse for her to go in there, have a competitive match with Blake Monroe, and then come up short and lose, as opposed to doing the shit that they did tonight? Because this was fucking terrible. This felt like one of those old Divas segments where they send them out to the ring, but before they actually go out to the ring, they're like, hey, go home. The Bellas used to talk about that. They would be waiting at the gorilla position, waiting to go out through the curtain, and then one of the producers would actually say to them, as soon as you get to the ring, get ready to go home. Like the match was over before they even went out to the ring. Like I'm watching this, like, what the fuck are we doing here? How are we using these people? And still there are people who will defend this shit. Which just goes to show you that no matter what, it doesn't matter how bad of a segment we may see on one of these shows, where everybody can kind of unite together in agreement about how bad it is, there will always be a handful of people to be contrarian, or just because, I don't know, there's just, they're not all there, but there will always be somebody there to defend this kind of slop until their dying breath. And it's sad. But I would like to think that we could all agree that this was just like, this was awful. I don't know. What am I supposed to... Like, again, the way that they just played the music and then they just kind of went right into the next segment. I'm like, okay. Sure. Don't care. Don't care. In the back, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, they're talking to each other. I think they were talking about Alexa's birthday. That was a few weeks ago. And Tatum Paxley showed up to hang out. And it was very awkward. Jade Cargill and the baddies showed up. Paxley said that she needs... Now, did she say that she needs Mary's blood? Is that what she said? Mary's blood. Okay. Meechin wants a match with Paxley next week, and Tatum was very excited about this. Yikes. We are not off to a good start with this. We come back. It's Trick Williams.
I am the
and the learning tree.
Shut the fuck up.
On their way out to the ring.
Fuck that tree.
Dried chicken, thank you. The only thing that could have made this show even better is the learning tree. Trick Williams, Lil Yachty on their way out to the ring together. Trick's out. He's talking about the big bald bum, Baron Corbin. Couldn't handle him without cheating. So the cue ball can come out and get his trick shot. Oh, she said, I need your blood. I thought she said Mary's blood. Is that what did she say? I need your blood? Okay. I'm like, who the fuck is Mary? Oh, Bloody Marys. Oh, man. You know what? I could use a few Bloody Marys myself watching this show. Bloody Mary. Okay. All right. Very good. Good Lord. I'm convinced that the writing team, they sit in a room and they just drink Bloody Marys all day long as they put together these segments on these shows. So he calls out Baron Corbin. Corbin's music plays. Out comes the United States champion on his motorcycle. No belt. No furry belt this week. Good. Leave it at home. I would leave it home too if it had fur on it. Corbin heads to the ring. First thing he does, Trick just stands there, and Corbin kind of he kind of walks towards Yachty. Yachty leaves the ring. So at that point, Trick says, I want a rematch right now for the United States Championship, wherever it is. Corbin says the title is getting a haircut. Good. I'll bet it doesn't, but it should. Corbin says Trick lost the title match, and then he lost the rematch. So that's it. What do you have to offer me? What do you possibly have that you could offer me? Because it isn't happening now. It isn't happening ever. Yachty gets back in the ring. He's behind Corbin. He's got the Trick stick, and he whacks him with the kendo stick hard, and he whacks him again hard. He hit him hard in the elbow. Corbin was holding his arm here even at the end of the segment. And then Trick knocks him out of the ring. So Corbin gets on the mic. He says, if you really want this to happen, then Sunday night's main event sounds as good as anything because Toronto certainly doesn't deserve this match. But before that, I want 5 minutes with him. And he points up at Yachty. He wants 5 minutes with Yachty in Yachty's hometown of Atlanta. And if Lil Yachty can survive, then Trick will get his match, which I presume means that same night he'll get the championship match. But if Corbin wins, then he's done with Trick forever. And Yachty mulls this over. Yachty accepts. And Corbin warns him that this will be the longest 5 minutes of his life. This segment was the longest 5 minutes of my life as I sat here watching this. And so I will put this up for you yet again. This is what we now have for Sunday night's main event. Baron Corbin and Lil Yachty. What did we do to deserve this? And there in the background, all shrunken down, is Trick Williams. So it's a beat the clock challenge, which of course Yachty will win. And when he does, Trick Williams will get his rematch and Trick Williams will get his United States Championship back. This is their way of, I guess, trying to shake things up and make things a little bit different from the first two matches that they had. At least now we know when Trick is getting his furry belt back. Look at how ridiculous that thing looks. Look, it looks like it looks like a rug that I would have in my bathroom. Well, there it is. I'm sure you're all very excited. Get ready. Lil Yachty making his debut. I can't wait. How exciting. Backstage, this fucking show, Kathy Kelly is talking with the challenger for the WWE Championship, Kevin Owens. Oh, yeah. So Necro in the chat, that is correct. I believe it was WrestleVotes that mentioned this the other day. Originally, their plan was, and I don't know if it was going to be with this, I'm not sure which is worse, quite frankly, but their plan was to have Yachty do a concert on the show. Because the last concert we saw on WWE television a few weeks ago went so well. We'll have a little Yachty concert on Sunday night's main event. Thankfully, they nixed that idea, or maybe not. I don't know, because apparently this was their alternate plan, was to put him in a match. Maybe we should have had him in a concert. But yes, I forgot to mention that. That was a report from WrestleVotes this week. Their original idea was to have him in concert. So Kevin Owens is backstage with Kathy Kelly. Mrs. Owens, I'm sure, didn't like that. Owens points out that Finn Balor is about to interrupt them because he could see him. We can't see him, but camera pans over and there he is. There's Finn Balor. Balor says he was happy to see Owens back. The two of them were good friends, but would have been nice if I got a heads up. This is in reference to the match at SummerSlam that Owens basically hijacked. So now Gunther interrupts. And he promises Owens that Balor is not a problem, but he will be if Owens wins that title tonight. And then Gunther leaves. That was Gunther's entire role on the show. So let's recap the last 2 weeks with Gunther, shall we? Again, the man who retired John Cena and AJ Styles. He showed up on the show last week in the opening segment to interrupt the women's champion, Chelsea Green, and then wrestled in his street clothes against Matt Cardona, who has not won a match on SmackDown since January. And that was his role on the show. And tonight, his role on the show was to interrupt a brief backstage promo with Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, and then leave. Hell of a direction they've got for this guy. Can't wait to see what he does next. He leaves. And at that point, Balor hypes up Owens. Does warn him, though, that he'll be waiting for him after he wins the championship. We got Tiffany Stratton, the now former Women's United States Champion, taking on Lash Legend. Now, late in the match, Stratton hit a lethal injection. Legend avoided a swanton bomb. Stratton then sidestepped a pump kick. Stratton went for the prettiest moonsault ever. Legend, though, pushed her feet and crotched her on top and then dragged her back down to the mat, and she got her up for her lash extension finish, and she pinned her. That was surprising. After the match was over, Legend and Jax, because Nia Jax was out there in her corner, they beat up Tiffany some more until Chelsea Green ran out with a kendo stick to fight them off. She whacked him with it a few times. Good for Chelsea. She got to make an entrance here in Canada. People seemed like they were very happy to see her. The match itself was no good. The match was not good. I mean, they're trying with Lash, and she's very athletic, but this was not good. We got a recap of the Kevin Owens and CM Punk brief rivalry here that we've only had really for a few weeks now. But they posted this on social media the other day. It was very well done. I mean, maybe the most surprising part of it was the Ring of Honor stuff that they got into. Obviously, they didn't have access to any of the footage. Not that there is footage of them wrestling each other, but like any actual video. But we got some still shots of them from their ROH days. We got Steen in the singlet. We got Punk with the ROH world title. So they touched on that and the story that Owens told in their face-to-face promo when Punk embarrassed him backstage years ago in front of all their peers. And so this was to get us all pumped up here for the big match, which was the main event of the show. And I'm watching this and I'm like, save us, KO and Punk, please. We need a hell of a main event to save this fucking train wreck of a show. And it was Kevin Owens challenging CM Punk for the WWE Championship. Owens was out first. He got the expected big reaction. And he was all fired up and he was yelling, get him out here, play his stupid music, get him out here, let's get this thing started. CM Punk comes out and he's wearing a hockey mask, looking like Jason Voorhees. He was the villain in Toronto tonight. They get in the ring and Owens goes right up to him and he pie faces him hard. And these guys they're like going at it. The referee's in between them trying to keep them separated. This is even before Mark Nash did the in-ring introductions, which he finally did. So the bell rings. We are finally underway for the first time ever. One-on-one, CM Punk and Kevin Owens. And before I go on, I just have to give you guys a big shout out. You hit the bonus goal, which means you're getting 2 rounds of Be the Booker. Exciting. We didn't get any on Wednesday because that's typical Dynamite. But here tonight, we get 2. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. But Kevin Owens, he finally got to do the one thing he has been waiting 21 years to do, and he regrets that he didn't do backstage in Ring of Honor that time. He got to punch CM Punk in the face. And he punched him over and over again. They wound up outside the ring. Owens, he cleared off the announce desk until Punk took him down. And then Punk picked up the lid, and he placed the lid back on top of the announce desk. He did it the wrong way, but it's the thought that counts. They went to a split screen commercial break. Punk got the heat on Owens during the commercial. Owens made a comeback on him. He did a crotch chop and then hit him with a cannonball in the corner. And they ended up outside again with Punk laid out on top of the desk. Owens got up on the barricade. He did a splash off the barricade through the desk. Back inside, Owens landed a swanton. He covered him. Punk kicked out. Owens went for a pop-up powerbomb. Punk avoided it. He got Owens down. He went to the top. He hit a crotch chop of his own. He came off with a diving elbow for a 2 count. Then he tried for the Anaconda Vice. Owens was able to fight out of it. So Punk picked Owens up. He was going to go for the go to sleep. Owens, though, caught Punk's knee. He caught his leg on the way down. He swept out the other leg, and he got a sharpshooter applied. In Canada, the cheap pop, always. Always with the cheap sharpshooter pops here in Canada. But he got the move applied, and he did it the right way. He sat back on it. Not one of these lame-ass sharpshooters where they kind of lock it on, but they're standing up. It's like, come on, man, this looks like shit. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Rock. Even Sting towards the end, but you know what? It's Sting. Come on, man. I'll allow it because it's Sting, and the guy was like 60-something years old. So he got him locked in the sharpshooter, and Punk was able to get a rope break. So Owens, he went for the stunner, and Punk shoved him off into the referee Dan Engler. So they bumped the referee. Dan Engler did not go down right away. He was kind of stunned, no pun intended, but he didn't go down right away. Not until Punk went for the GTS again, and Owens shoved him into Engler, and that sent poor Dan Engler flying through the ropes and out to the floor. So there's your ref bump. And then Owens hit Punk with the stunner because, of course, he did. And he hooked the leg and he got the visual pin, which is the only pin that he will ever get on CM Punk. And the crowd counted, they counted up to like 13 or 14, but it didn't matter because there was no referee. So Owens went looking for the ref. He's looking down at him. He's yelling at him. And then he turned around. He turned into a GTS from Punk. Punk got a visual pin of his own. Still no referee. Punk went outside to try to revive the ref. And as he's doing this, Sami Zayn emerges from through the crowd, from the timekeeper's area. Sami Zayn is here. And he sneaks up behind CM Punk and he shoves him face first into the ring post. And then he puts him back in the ring. Owens didn't see any of this. He gets up. He hits another stunner on Punk as Sami puts the referee back into the ring to count the fall. And he counts. And he counts. And before he could hit 3, Punk kicks out at the last possible, and I do mean last possible second. It actually kind of looked like the referee may have held up the count for a brief second there before Punk got the shoulder up. So at that point, Sami Zayn, he tosses the WWE Championship into the ring for Kevin Owens to use. Owens grabs the belt, and it looks like he's squaring up like he's going to use it on Punk, but he thinks better of it. Sami's on the apron now. And Owens turns around and he's looking at Sami and he goes, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to use it. And he gives it back to him. But he kind of like jammed it into his chest, right? And at that point, Sami takes the belt and he waffles Owens upside the head with it, which I guess the referee didn't see. So now Owens is stunned. And he goes backwards, stumbles right into a GTS by Punk, who covers him, and he gets the pin to retain the championship 19 minutes into this match. After it's over, Punk is celebrating, big smile on his face. Sami Zayn gets in the ring. He blasts Punk in the head with the WWE title. Owens eventually recovers. He kind of stumbles to his feet. He goes kind of to lunge towards Sami. Sami smashes him again in the head with the belt for good measure. And then he hits Punk again. Punk from his knees. He hits Punk in the head with the championship. Kneels down over Punk's body. He's yelling at him. He said, "Justice would be this belt being back with me." And the show ended with Sami Zayn posing with the WWE Championship. That's how SmackDown went off the air. First of all, I thought the match itself was very good. I was looking forward to the match. I think they had a very good match. They gave them a lot of time. Again, just shy of 20 minutes. So I think the match delivered pretty much what one would have expected from a CM Punk Kevin Owens match. Hot crowd that was into it. We got a couple of really good near falls in there. We got the obligatory ref bump, but you had to know that was coming. And you had to know that we were going to get some sort of fuck finish here. I was hoping not. I was really hoping that we would get an Owens win. But I just knew the likelihood of that was very slim, especially after what happened at the end of the show last week. So I had already prepared myself for the inevitable fuckery here at the end of this match. It doesn't make it any less lame. But now it feels like we got a three-way feud going with these three men, and maybe we'll end up with a triple threat match at some point soon. I don't know if it would be Sunday night's main event. I don't know if it would be Money in the Bank, because, again, Punk is not advertised for that show. But that was certainly the impression they left you with here at the end of this match. For Owens, it's in the double digits now. Now, in terms of opportunities that he has had over the last decade to win the WWE Championship, he has fallen short and failed every single time. Whether it was Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, now CM Punk, it doesn't matter. Opportunity after opportunity, and he has lost. And it just gets to a point where you start to ask yourself, okay, you kind of see the writing on the wall. Maybe this just isn't going to happen. Maybe we should all stop falling for this, that moment is coming. But then I think about Sami Zayn getting that moment in Saudi back in June. And you can never say never in wrestling. I could sit here right now and say, okay, after this, it's never going to happen. It would have been a nice moment in Toronto. It didn't happen. It's probably not going to. I can't say that for sure. Maybe at some point in the distant future, it'll happen. I hope Kevin Owens can have a fruitful career after the neck injury and can go another fucking 5 to 10 years. But however long his career is going to be, you can never be 100% sure, but it's very deflating to see him get chance after chance after chance. And then they just don't go with it. So for the time being, it looks like that is basically gone. That ship has sailed. And now, another Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn feud. It's like, okay. I guess we can go back to that again, I suppose. But as much as I've loved the matches they've had in the past, and they had that great one last year at Elimination Chamber in Toronto, it just, you get to a point where you want to see other things. You want to see them work with other people. Or if they're going to work together, but not necessarily against each other, you want to see something different. I can't say that excites me a lot. A three-way, though, with the three of them in the ring fighting for the belt, that could be fun. We can get a good match out of that. It's just a matter of when. But I will hold on to this match because this was the only redeeming part of this entire show tonight. I thought SmackDown was largely a bore. It was a very uninspired show. Hot crowd in Toronto. Shout out to them and Steve and everybody else who was there in the building tonight. And there were a lot of people in that building. But to think that you had up to 18,000 people in that building, and this is the kind of show that they got, it's sad. This was not a good show. All the little short segments, nothing segments, promo segments that really weren't all that great, matches that really weren't all that great, save for the main event. Now, I did mention the tag team title match. I thought that was solid. That was not a great match. That was fine. That was not bad. But my God, in terms of this being a one-match show, I said it at the beginning, it was a one-segment show. It's a lot of work left to be done here if they're going to turn that ship around when it comes to Friday nights. And the women's division, they have a lot of women on the roster on this show. I know Rhea Ripley is out and Chelsea Green can't wrestle for another 23 days, but it just feels like it's in shambles right now. Like, what is going on at this moment? What is going on in the women's division? It's awful. A lot of work to do. Let's get into your questions here. See what you thought of SmackDown, and then we got a couple of rounds that we got to get to later on for Be the Booker. Canadian fans show up for WWE shows. They do. They deserve better. How about it? They deserve better. It won't be fixed overnight. Well, I never thought it would be fixed overnight, but at the same time, you have to sit here and judge and grade each show as it comes. And while you can acknowledge that there is work to be done, and there are certain stories that will have to play themselves out over a period of time, I can watch the television show and tell you when I think it sucks, or it's boring, or it's great. Tonight was not one of those nights where it was great. The main event was great. Great is not a word I would use to describe anything else on this show. Thank God for CM Punk and Kevin Owens. Joseph Stewart, thank God for him. Joseph is back. What's going on, brother? Happy Friday, Joseph. I have not seen those photos. I have not. I will have to look for them, though, now that you tell me about them. Joseph says he's writing a comic book. Look at this. He's writing a comic book on The Undertaker as a superhero. Interesting. I'm trying to think if WWE ever did a comic book on Undertaker and Kane. I know they did a book. Someone did a book on Undertaker and Kane trying to flesh out their backstory. I don't think it was a comic book, though. Well, good luck with that, Joseph. How would you have built an Undertaker-Andre the Giant match? I mean, I don't really know what kind of story you could even do with those two, other than just, you know, you really just build it around the one match as two kind of unstoppable forces stepping into the ring together for the first time. Right? Something's got to give. Only one can win. You got The Undertaker, who you can't kill, and you got Andre, who's this legendary figure. But even if they could have done the match, Andre couldn't do anything at that point. What would an Andre... You know how awful that match would have been? Oh my God. Just the thought of an Undertaker-Andre the Giant match in like 1991 is horrifying. That's a terrifying thought. Dude, that would have been awful. And this is back during The Undertaker's early days where all he did was choke people and roll his eyes back in his head. So you take somebody who just chokes and Andre who can barely move. It would have been awful. I'm sorry to say. Did you think that Mila Moore is going to be a big star in TNA? I'm not familiar with her, so I can't really say one way or the other. And happy birthday to Kim Cattrall. Do you think Missy Hyatt is underrated in the wrestling community? And do you think that she was a big star in wrestling? She was a star in wrestling. I would not say she was a big star in wrestling. Do I think she's underrated in the wrestling community? Not really. I mean, I don't really have an opinion one way or the other as to whether or not she's underrated or overrated. I think there's more that she could have done. I think WCW could have used her better. I'm going to have a lot to say about Missy Hyatt because that is the Dark Side of the Ring episode that I am reviewing on Sunday. She was quite the figure. We'll talk about that on Sunday if you want my full thoughts on that. Joseph, have a great weekend, brother. Keep me posted on that comic book. We got Dried Chicken is with us. God, Dried chicken is just the worst. Not you. I had dried chicken for dinner the other night. Ugh, fucking terrible. It's got to be moist. Mandy Rose is 100 times better than Maxine Dupree. She treated Otis kindly. The wrestling gods will punish Maxine. She was a better wrestler, too. She ended up having a pretty successful run for herself as the NXT Women's Champion. Ilya Dragunov should take his talents to New Japan and then sign with Tony Khan under ROH. Yeah, take his talents to New Japan for what? They can't afford to pay people. That's why they all left New Japan to go to the States. If they could be competitive financially, there'd be a lot more people working there. Super Pony with a $9.99. Kevin 0 for 13 Owens. If he didn't win the belt tonight, he's never winning it again. It's over. Sucks that they almost lost him for good. And when they get him back, they still take him for granted. Well, he's still in the main event picture right now. Aussie of Steel, after a 2-week hiatus, we now return to your regularly scheduled Friday night shitdown. Yeah, when you see Green Man at the beginning of the review, you know it's going to be one of those nights. Venom Kitetsu with the 14. How about it? Solo finally home for a SmackDown title match, and it's a fuck finish. How about it? Death, Taxes, and SmackDown. Yes, I finally was home for a WWE Championship match on SmackDown after missing several of them this year. Usually I've been in Chicago for HOG, but tonight I was home. Actually, I may looking ahead at stuff next month, I may end up missing most of the SmackDowns next month. There may only be like one live Friday night review in the entire month of September. It's going to be one of those months. Hey, Mystic J, what's going on, man? Deathside says, I hope Randy wins the WWE title before Crown Jewel so we can get Roman Orton at Crown Jewel. It would be fresher than Roman wrestling Cody, Punk, or KO. I have no interest in seeing that match. Sorry. I don't. Roman Reigns and Randy Orton? I don't want to see that. You really want to see that? Why? EJ Slamp Mets update. Blew a 4-0 lead to my White Sox, who went back-to-back in the 6th, and then walked it off with a home run 6-4. Magical Sox season. Good for you. That does sound like a very Mets-like update, though. Alexander, let us pour one out for Ilya Dragunov tonight. Well, it's got to be strong, whatever it is that you're drinking. And maybe some of that Apple Jack. Or maybe some, what was it, Venom? Blueberry, you said? Some of that blueberry whiskey? Ugh. It doesn't sound great. EJ Slamp. And it gets better, he says. Jeffrey Yan did his celebration on ball 2, not strike 3. Then walked him and gave up the walk-off home run. White Sox magic. LOL Mets. Enjoy. Enjoy, brother. There he is. There's the man. Look at this guy over here. I got to give him a nice cheer for our friend James Crawford. Look at this guy. Dropping a $30 super chat. And then coming back immediately with a $100 bomb. James, you are the man. And that means a lot. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Very much. James is that guy. Broly, Roxanne hasn't won a singles match since November. I want you to remember this when people wonder why there are so many people who aren't over. And the metrics and the analytics aren't moving for people. and you hear about stuff like that. Because there's a lot of people you could say that about on the roster right now, that they haven't won a match all year. They haven't won a match since January. Dragunov was one of those people. The last match he won on television was in January against The Miz. There he is, Steve Mello. Read his super chat earlier. Our friend Steve, he was at the show tonight in Toronto. Hopefully he made it out of the parking lot. You said that you were stuck in the parking lot. I hope he's still not there. Hey, Cheza, good morning. Nick Grasso with a 1999. According to PW Insider, Crown Jewel is happening in November, and they are doing champion versus champion. Are they really going to do Roman and Punk too? This is the second time that Punk had help to retain not very babyface-like. Well, he's really a heel, masquerading as a babyface. As of this moment, yeah, it would be Roman and Punk. I guess the only way to avoid that would be if LA Knight is to beat Roman Reigns. Then we would get CM Punk and LA Knight, which should have been the World Heavyweight Championship match at Saturday night's main event in November of last year. Lakers Pats, if it was Hogan versus Orndorff, how is WrestleMania 3 remembered? Not the same way that it is today. WrestleMania 3, I mean, outside of Savage and Steamboat, it was all about the slam. You don't get that. It's not even the match, it's the moment. That's the moment that defines WrestleMania. So you get a great match with Hogan and Orndorff, and I'm sure they draw well. But you don't get that moment, it's not the same. Bobbert with a 15. Bobbert Reviews. Thank you, Bobbert. I hope you're having a great Friday night. As all of you, I hope, are having a great Friday night. Of course you are. You're hanging out with all of us. Rojo Bear. Baron Corbin versus Lil Yachty. Thank God for college football. Retro KOH, how long before one of the two custom Superstar side plates is replaced with an ad side plate on the belts? Not very long. Not very long. Before long, you'll have all kinds of logos on the sides. I hadn't even thought about the belts. You would think the belts are sacred.
The Fresh Maker.
Z-Ray with a $30 Mentos drop. Give it a little heart there in the chat. There you go. Hey, Solo, I don't know if I am too young to understand the reference, but what is the story behind the Mentos Super Chat? Well, there really isn't much of a story behind it. They were some of the most entertaining, cheesy, corniest commercials on television back in the 90s. And if you don't know what Mentos is, it's a kind of candy, or it's not a breath mint, but it's like... Wait a minute.
Mentos, the Fresh Maker.
Oh my God, we're getting assaulted by Mentos tonight. I love it. You can never have too much. You can never have too much of a good thing. But yeah, I mean, so that jingle you heard is just a small portion of it. But they used to air these commercials back in the 90s. And again, if you could look them all up on YouTube, like you watch it, and it makes the hairs on your friggin' arm stand up. But dude, they're just hilarious to watch. And so it always stuck with me. That whole campaign. There's two ad campaigns that have always stuck with me. The Mentos campaign and the early, when they had the gecko, the Geico gecko. And whatever ad agency came up with that concept is just, they didn't get paid enough. Just brilliant stuff. But I always loved that jingle, and it always used to put a smile on my face. And that really is the story behind it. That's why it's one of my favorites. And they still sell them. 30 some odd years later, you can still buy them. I'm in the checkout aisle at fucking Walgreens. There it is. There's Mentos. They must be doing something right if they're still selling. But anyway, Retro, yeah, those ad side plates, you may be onto something there. Oh, Mentos and Coke. Yeah, so if you want to see something really funny, if you're not really familiar with Mentos, if you go on YouTube, they have videos of what happens when you drop Mentos into a bottle of, like a 1 liter or 2 liter bottle of Coca-Cola. I don't know if you have to shake it up first, but like I think as soon as you drop it in, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Super Pony, as a KO fan, I'm fucking tired. It's also been 10 years since he's held a mid-card title. They won't let this guy have shit. Money in the Bank is his only chance, but oh, he's not winning Money in the Bank. Dude, you got to, no. Don't get your heart set on that. He ain't winning Money in the Bank. Kevin Owens is not winning Money in the Bank. That probably would be his only shot, but he ain't winning Money in the Bank. I'm sorry to say. Venom Kitetsu with the 25. Oh, wait, we saw that one already. I gave him an early shout. I'll give him another one. Thank you, Venom. Dried Chicken says Haku is a bad mofo. Who would want to fight Haku? Not me. Not me. Bobby Means with a 10. JD has been saying since I don't know why they won't do it. WWE needs to merge the tag. Dude, I've been saying this since they de-unified them at WrestleMania. This is not a new concept, and they don't do it. They want tag belts on both shows. It's stupid. It's just dumb. They haven't had tag divisions to support 2 titles since they split them. It was very apparent from the moment they announced that this is what they were doing that it was a bad idea. Everybody could see it, and they did it anyway. And so we've had, instead of 1 dead tag team division, we've had 2 dead tag team divisions. We had a lot of life in the SmackDown tag division at the beginning of last year. End of 24, beginning of 25, it was the hottest thing on the show. And then that died out, and it hasn't been the same since. I've said that from day one. I said, don't do this. This is a bad idea. Carl Winslow? Do I see Carl Winslow with us? Yes, I do. Carl Winslow. Everyone's favorite TV dad. Manifesting a future Jerry Lawler Dark Side episode. They just dedicated a street in Memphis to Jerry Lawler. He picked a street in front of a middle school. You can't make this shit up. Dried Chicken with a 12. Let me tell you how the irresistible forces can get more heat, brother. Gunther pays them to beat up Chelsea Green in the locker room and they smash her belt. Well, I mean, I just when I thought Gunther cannot get any lower, the idea of him paying off Nia Jax to do dirty work for him, that would do it. That would certainly be one way of doing it. Corey King with a 10. Hey, Solo. Wanted to send you some appreciation on my birthday for Double B the Booker. Look at this guy. Thank you for all you do to entertain and inform with your reviews. Corey, I'm glad you enjoy them. We did, in fact, hit the goal. I mean, with this train, the way this is rolling, I may have to go with a 3rd round. I should have reset the goal after we set that one. But we may end up doing 3. I don't know. This may be a triple round night. See how I'm feeling here in a few minutes. Oh yeah, it's right in front of a school. Yep. Irenzo. Either Kevin is that good or he was really laying most of his hits and bumps pretty hard on Punk for the Bucks. Philip, I read recently that Kane was supposed to use Out of the Fire by Typo Negative for his entrance music instead of Slow Chemical. Your thoughts? I don't remember that song. I may have heard it, but it's not like ringing a bell for me, so I can't really rate it one way or the other. Boomerang. Who was closer to a championship in Toronto? KO tonight or the Blue Jays in Game 7? The Blue Jays in Game 7. Oh my goodness. You know what? I gotta pull this out.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
I gotta pull this out right here. We always, never be without. Never be without Mentos. This is the, what do I have here? This is the mint. The chewy mint. Yeah. There you go. Brings me good luck. Bringing me good luck tonight, I'll tell you that. James Crawford, man, he is killing it. He is killing it. Dried Chicken says, with a 14, Paul Levesque and his team are the most mundane creative team in WWE history. I'm setting the bar real low for this. Triple H is more mundane than Dixie Carter. Wow. Ranking Dixie Carter above Triple H that's certainly a flex. I don't know that I would agree, but Dixie was pretty mundane herself. Basic Solonomics. Look at this guy with his Mets jersey. Death Side, thank you. I'll get to you here in a second. We have Kioi 102. My favorite part of SmackDown tonight was when Blake hit her neutralizer to get the reaction of crickets. Giulia hoed on a weekly basis. Cinema. Yes, they are certainly hoeing Giulia on a weekly. I can't even say a weekly basis because she's not on television every week. Venom Katetsu Joe said the tag team title scene for SmackDown was heating up. I laughed and then died. Heating up, huh? That's like putting food in the microwave that's been in the refrigerator for about 6 days and you're heating it up. You can heat it up all you want to. It's still going to taste like shit when you go to eat it. Mystic J44, is it me or does it feel like Triple H or WWE creative in general hate Giulia for some reason? It makes no sense for her to be treated this way. Well, you see, she doesn't have the analytics. The analytics don't back up pushing her, so they won't. It's as simple as that. So they'll let you die on the vine until they either release you or your contract expires. It's the WWE way. At least move her to Raw. You know what I mean? Like a different environment, different people to work with. Probably won't work. It probably won't be much different on that show. It's the same people effectively writing the fucking show, but you would think they would at least try something different with her, but no, they're gonna let her die on the vine. Eventually she'll be gone and she'll be able to get back to being Giulia somewhere else. That's pretty much where we're headed at this point. Solomonster's lost son is with us. Oh boy, not him again. With the $4.99 dad, Ilya was done dirty, but now we can get him versus Ospreay. My two favorites right now. I'm hard thinking about it. Please let it happen. I don't know what to say to that. I'm just going to leave it alone. J.R. Fisher. Kevin, zero. I see. Look at this guy over here. It took me a second. It took me a second to realize what he was doing there. Kevin, 0 wins. Kevin O wins. Yes. That's exactly what he is. Kevin O wins. Jeremy Rose with the 10. Get my kid solo, but I'm trying to get away from him. Keeps finding me. I keep changing my address, my number. He keeps finding me. He keeps tracking me down. Jeremy says, Cross was right about Sammy. Too bad WWE isn't smart enough to bring him back to further that story and have Cross guide Sammy to a long title reign and watch his back. Brother, it's old news at this point. Cross is actually doing really well for himself on the independent scene. I'm happy for him. He doesn't need WWE because, like, why? To do what? To do what? Walker won the Don with a $4.99. I know you don't know me, but I sent you a video last week. I have no idea what that means. Walker, thank you. I'm trying to translate here, but I am confused. Bring Cross to HOG. We had Cross in HOG. Be very happy to have him back. But he's killing it right now with MLW and in some of the other places that he's working. You know, won a bunch of championships. Gets to book his own shots and do his own thing. Good for him, man. Z-Ray with a 30. Hey, Solo. Oh, we read this one. Yes. I hope I gave you the very basic explanation. I hope that is satisfactory to you, Z-Ray, because I do appreciate the love. Stand by Eminem plays. James Crawford is back with a 30. Give us Be the Booker times 3. I may have to. Abyssal Zones. I think there actually was WWE Comics with Undertaker and Kane. Apparently it was back in 99 and they had a previously unmentioned sister in that story. I remember there was always a lot of talk like online on like message boards and RSPW and stuff from fans who were coming up with all sorts of theories about Undertaker and Kane having a sister. They could bring somebody in to play the role of their sister and who that would be. It's an interesting actually, you know what people were saying at one point that as far as someone to bring in as their sister, Daphne. I guess the whole like goth, dark kind of character. I mean, it could have been interesting. James Crawford cheated out of my third round. James has just been on a tear tonight. James may single-handedly get us that third round. Deathside says potential Ilya versus Ospreay match. Your thoughts? I mean, it would be fantastic. It would probably take place on a random episode of Collision. But you can certainly inject that shit into my veins. I'd love to see that. And Super Pony. It's bullshit that we waited years for a Punk KO feud, only for it to be a one-off on TV. They rushed into it just to get it over with. Terrible. Boy, Super Pony is really very upset about this. I hear you. This should be more than a one-off. I would love to see them stretch this and do more, but not if they're not going to put the belt on Owens at some point. I don't have any interest in seeing them run it back, and he just loses and loses and loses. It's pretty clear to me they're not putting the belt on him, so there's no point in prolonging it. It just gets to a point, you know? Dry Chicken says, if LA Knight does not win the world title, the wrestling gods will punish the creative with plagues of injuries. No. We don't need the shoulder demon back. The shoulder demon has taken a break. We have to wish the shoulder demon away. We don't want him to come back. Well, you guys have killed it tonight. We got lucky, honestly. We got lucky with the wheel earlier, which, as you can see here, landed on automatic. be the booker. But then you hit the bonus goal, and then James came in with all those bombs and mini bombs. We may go 3 rounds tonight. Let's get started, shall we? It's time to be the booker.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to be the booker.
Let's get to it. We got a lot of matches to book. Hopefully some good ones. Oh man, we're gonna start here with the bane of Paul Levesque's existence. We're gonna start with a tag team match. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with the world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. Remember his Haas of Pain move. The world's greatest tag team is gonna step into the ring with the Rhodes Boys, Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Now there's some good old tag team wrestling for you right there. Old school. That's what we're doing. Some old school tag team wrestling.
Look at Richie Rich over here.
Holy
Dropping all
shit,
this
he's
money
back.
on
I
me.
can't
Hey,
believe this.
I just want you to
this
know,
guy.
I think you rock.
Oh my God.
I don't mean the rock, a rock. You rock. And I just wanted you to know that.
James has single-handedly, I mean, how could I not at this point, earned us a 3rd round of Be the Booker. James, he was on a mission tonight, let me tell you. Mission accomplished. Objective achieved. Thank you, my friend. James is the fucking MVP, is what he is. Yeah, let's see those sirens. Holy shit. Gonna start carving his initials into the screen here. We'll have like a little thing down at the bottom where it'll just say James. All right, well, we're starting out in a good way here with these matches here. Now we got to book a women's match and hope that we can keep this good momentum and good fortune going. Oh my. We have the former WWE Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. I'll bet many of you have never wished in your lives that you were a skull more than right now at this moment. Rhea Ripley. Back early from her injury, apparently. Stepping into the ring here in our B2B Federation. She is going to be stepping into the ring with Tiffany Stratton. And you know what's interesting about this is that if they were to turn Tiffany heel, and if Tiffany was the one to take the championship away from Chelsea Green, and then Rhea comes back, that could very well be the WrestleMania match next year. I could envision a Rhea Ripley-Tiffany Stratton feud. So that is possible. So far, so good. We got one match left here in round number 1. Let's make it a good one. We had a great main event tonight. Let's see if we can top what WWE gave us. Bam Bam Bigelow. One of the better big men in wrestling. When I think of some of the best big men in wrestling history, I would probably go Vader in my number 1 spot, but Bam Bam would be on that list for sure. He's up there. He's up there for sure. The Beast from the East. Let's do a little bit better than Lawrence Taylor. Let's give him a better opponent, shall we? Bam Bam Bigelow against Dave Moneyman Meltzer. Look at this fucking guy. with the New Japan Pro Wrestling logo behind him. Come on now. Who wouldn't want to see Bam Bam Bigelow and Big Dave Meltzer in the main event? You see all that money he's holding in his hand right now? That's all the money they're going to draw. Those are from all the tickets they're going to sell for that main event. Dave is going to get destroyed. Have you seen pictures of Meltzer from the past? He had bigger muscles than Bam Bam did. Bam Bam does have the size advantage, though. Hey, Uffman entered. Is that better than LT? You know what? It may not be. Uffman Entertainment, 64 months of channel membership. Look at this guy. 64 months, baby. Am I wearing the same shirt as in the $100 super chat? I am. You know what? It was meant to be. Maybe it was meant. That's eerie, isn't it? Maybe I was meant to wear this tonight. I haven't worn this in a while. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing those red bombs dropping. That's a good eye you have there, Huffman. I didn't even realize it. So now we move on to round number 2. We got our first sweep of the night. Can we do it again? That's always the question here. Round number 2. Now we get to pick some stipulations. We have an Iron Man match. Okay. Then we'll start with the men. This is always a little tricky because this really does depend on who you land on as far as how good or bad this match is going to be. You're going to have a 60-minute Iron Man match. You got to have the right people for it. That's the trick. We can't be landing on Dave Meltzer again. We can't be landing on this guy either. After everything I just said, the first person I pick is the Brooklyn Brawler in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Can we get Tiffany Stratton and Lash Legend back out here, please? Can we run that match back? The Brooklyn Brawler. And just like that, the triple sweep out the window. Should I even bother picking an opponent? I guess I kind of have to. At least see who the opponent would be. I'm morbidly curious. I'm morbidly curious to see who the opponent for the Brooklyn Brawler would be in this Iron Man match. Braun Breaker. I mean, he would take care of this guy in 10 seconds. What are you going to do for 60 minutes? What can they possibly do with Braun Breaker and the Brooklyn Brawler? That's a lot of B's, by the way. Their initials are the same. BB, BB, and this is BB. Well, B to B. Change that to a bell. Sit down. Sit down. Change that to a bell. No. Wrong with you? Yeah, it would be fun for 10 seconds, not for 60 minutes. Punja, oh my god. This is turning into something I did not want it to be. We go from a 60-minute Iron Man match with the Brooklyn Brawler to a Punjabi prison match. I can't in good conscience put the ladies in the Punjabi prison, so we have to go back to the men. Punch says, I could watch Braun destroy the Brawler for 60 minutes. Well, I don't want to. This is going in a direction that I did not want it to go down. The Immortal. Well, he's dead. I guess he's not immortal after all. But Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. We know who's going over in this match. I can't even imagine Hogan climbing the Punjabi prison. Can you even visualize that? Hulk Hogan in a Punjabi prison match. Against, look at this. The former WWE, two former WWE champions, Hulk Hogan and Sami Zayn. First of all, the idea that Hulk Hogan would even agree to be in a Punjabi prison match is laughable. The idea that Hulk Hogan would agree to wrestle someone who looks like Sami Zayn in a Punjabi prison is even more laughable. Are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding me? Are we sure Danhausen hasn't cursed Be the Booker again? This is not going well. You're helping Sam. How are you going to help Sammy win? He's going to be inside the Punjabi prison. All right, we got one more. We got one more in this cursed round. All right, this is at least more normal. A parking lot brawl. All right, this is better though. This is better. We're doing men, I guess, for all 3 matches in this round. Then hopefully we'll get back to the others here in the next round. Is Savage jumping from the top of the prison? Probably, because he's out of his mind. He already shattered one knee. Why not shatter them both? A parking lot brawl with this guy. Royce Keys. If I'm in the parking lot and he's standing there looking like that, I'm turning the other way and running. This guy looks like he's fixing for a fight. Royce Keys in a parking lot brawl. Maybe we could salvage one match, maybe? Can we? Again. Why is Meltzer in all of the main events all of a sudden? Meltzer is politicking his way into all of these main events. Now, I gave him the last one. I am not giving him this one. This man is playing politics. He's exercising his creative control. Oh, well, hold on a second though. I just forgot we had a sweep in the other direction. We have to play the sad jingle. This is the sad jingle when we have the opposite of a clean sweep. Well, we did get back-to-back sweeps, but that wasn't the one I was hoping for. However, the good news is because of our friend James, we get to do it again. The way James was popping up tonight, I was surprised. I thought we were on our way to a 4th round. All right, here we go. This is scheduled to be our final round. So we have time here to salvage things and try to turn it around. We have lots of good stipulations in here. Let's see if we can land on one. Oh my God. Well, I said there were lots of good stipulations in here, but this is not one of them. Look at that. Look at Baby Russo in this one. On a pole, bro. On a pole. We'll book a tag team match. We have to figure out what goes on this pole. What are we putting on this pole? I'll let you guys figure that out. We have William Regal and his tag team partner, Tajiri, as Steve Austin would call him. Not Tajiri, Tajiri. Austin would also call X-Pac X-Pac. All right. Regal and Tajiri are going to defend their world tag. Yeah, look, give him a drum roll. Come on. Build the drama here. Human Monies, says Darryl. Fine. Human Monies on a pole. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, the Wolf Dogs, against William Regal and Tajiri in a Human Monies on a pole match. The Wolf Dogs, low-key, were actually a good team. They were a good team. And then they called Corbin up from NXT and they said, hey, you know what? He did so well in a tag team. We'll just call him up and completely break up the team and put him with Apollo Crews instead. Gee, I wonder why that didn't work. All right, we got 2 more matches here. This one is going to be a stretcher match. You got to pull, not pull, you got to push, pull. Push the stretcher over the yellow line. Riveting. You could do that, you win the match. This time we're going to go with the ladies. Ladies in a stretcher match. First lady is going to be Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Well, I mean, given her background, I think somebody else may be ending up on that stretcher here. She is a former champion in mixed martial arts, you know. Ronda Rousey and Bianca Belair. Did we ever get that match? I know Ronda wrestled a bunch of different people. Natty, Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, Shayna. I don't recall her ever wrestling Bianca one-on-one. And this is it. This is our main event. All comes down to this. Yeah, I'm going with Bianca too, by the way. Bianca to win. Our main event is going to be an intergender match. An intergender match. This makes things a little more interesting. Wouldn't it be funny if we landed on Gunther and Chelsea Green? That would be perfect. Okay. So we will pick one woman and one man, and that will be our main event tonight. And let's make it a good one. Let's make it a good one. We don't do too many of these. Toni Storm. I just mentioned her. I invoked her name earlier in the review, and then there she is. She appears. This is not timeless, though. This is just regular Toni Storm. Toni Storm, you know what, though? Toni Storm could hold her own in there. She could hold her own. Meltzer. Oh, my God. I swear, if we land on Meltzer. Can you imagine Toni Storm against Dave Meltzer? Toni Storm is going to be wrestling the bad guy, Razor Ramon. Yes. Yes. 2 sweeps. Actually, 3. 3 sweeps. We had one bad one, though, in the middle. Toni Storm and Razor Ramon. Probably would actually be a pretty good wrestling match. Not for nothing. That was very eventful. I couldn't tolerate 3 straight main events with Dave Meltzer in there. Then he'll give himself fucking 6 stars in the Observer each time. It's just terrible. Can you imagine Meltzer reviewing his own match in the Observer? James Crawford again with that last $100 bomb. James, I don't know what to say at this point. I'm out of speech. He was very happy though that we did that 3rd round. You're very welcome. It's the least I could do. Dry Chicken says the world's greatest tag team against the Rhodes. What are these stipulations that you come up with? They're so silly. Uffman 2020 Vision, baby. What the hell is that in reference to? Yeah, he gave Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18 3 stars. 3 or 3 1/4. I forget. That's a 5-star match all the way. I don't care what anybody says.
Look at Richie Rich over here dropping all this money on me. Hey, I just want you to know.
Oh, man.
I think you rock.
Oh, man.
I don't mean The Rock, A-Rock. You rock. And I just wanted you to know that.
Look at this guy.
Holy
Look
shit.
at this guy. James Crawford with another bomb. No message this time, just showing love. Yes, you gotta hit that thumbs up on that. I just gave it a little heart emoji myself, but you got to give James some thumbs up there. My goodness. My goodness, James he's entering the Hall of Fame tonight is what he's doing. He's going to be up there with the likes of ABK and
I am the
Boots.
Shut the fuck up.
Paul Carpenter, the Portland pop star himself.
Fuck that tree.
Alex Ochoa with a $12 learning tree. I want to do these in order, though. Oh, another Be the Booker, says Donald. Hey, I'm going to go through these last ones here, but this keeps up. I don't think we've never done that before. I don't recall ever doing 4 rounds. That would be crazy. 4 rounds would be crazy. That would be pure insanity is what that would be. Right now, we're tied for the record. 3 is the most we've ever done in one night. You mean you don't want Razor Ramon and Tony Storm to be your final main event of the evening? Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Shocker will remain in AEW Dark. I mean ROH. Shocker? Oh, he says, I meant Athena. How the hell did you get shot? What kind of autocorrect is that? I was like, Shocker. Sounds like someone from CMLL. Did we do 4 rounds once? Oh, yeah. Oh, I have no memory of this. They said we did 4 rounds once for a Raw review. I have no memory of this. I'll take your word for it. It's a rare occurrence. Hoofman says Royce Keys in a parking lot brawl. It fits. Oh, you know what? It does. Misfit says Dave Meltzer against Mercedes. That Dave will never rate. He never did. Yeah, he never did rate her match, did he? Coward. Dry Chicken says intergender match. Tony Storm against Razor Ramon. They should have a Hollywood ending match. You know, that would be very appropriate. They should do it in a Hollywood backlot. Maze de Great. Celebrating 61 months of channel membership. As much as we get on WWE, there is one organization that somehow is more incompetent than them. The New York Mets.
Look at Richie Rich over here dropping all this money on
Is this
me.
Hey, it's someone.
I just want you to know, I think you
I thought
rock.
it was James.
I don't mean The Rock, A-Rock, you rock.
Oh, my God.
And I just wanted you to know that.
Oh, my God. Metal Ghost Zero says one more time with another $100 bomb. Also, thank you, Solo, for the streams. They help keep me sane working OT. Yeah, I hear that from a lot of people who are working like late shifts or in your, like, again, overtime or whatever it may be, or just really late hours. And they need content, they need stuff to watch or listen to. So I love hearing that, man. Any way that the streams can help. I know some people look at it and go, it's just someone talking about wrestling. What's the big deal? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how much it can mean to some people. So I appreciate that. And Metal Ghost, oh my God. You know what? I'm thinking we may have to do another round, guys. We may have to do a 4th round. Let me get to these first, though. Super Pony says us LA and KO fans will always be miserable. I don't know. There seems to be a lot of people out there who are already getting the party hats ready for Money in the Bank for LA Night. I don't know.
Look at Richie Rich over here dropping all this money on me. Hey, I just want you to know, I think you rock. I don't mean The Rock, A-Rock.
Oh, my God.
You rock. And I just wanted you to know that.
Holy shit.
I couldn't say it any better myself. Those are the 2 most appropriate words right there. Holy shit. Let me do the I'll try to do the voice if I can.
Holy, oh, wrong voice.
Holy shit.
Actually, I think I like it better in the other voice. Who was that? That was Z-Ray. That was Z-Ray with a $100 bomb. Says, I want to join the fun. I love you, Solo. Hey, Z-Ray. I love you back, brother. Pop, look at that. Pop the corks. Dry Chicken has the champagne emojis in the chat. Pop those fucking corks, man. Holy shit. Yeah, I inhaled some helium there. I'm sorry. As Okada would say, I hit the wrong button. Hit the wrong one, man. That's what happens sometimes. Oh man, Metal Goes Zero and Z-Ray.
Look at Richie Rich over here dropping all this money on me. Hey, I just want you to know, I think you rock. I don't mean the rock, a rock. You rock. And I just wanted you to know that.
4 rounds. We got another round coming up. We got another round. Here we go. We got another round coming up. I can't not do it. You guys are fucking unbelievable. You guys are unbelievable. See, this is what happens when you get a mostly boring SmackDown. We make our own fun around here. This is fucking great. Oh my God. So Z-Ray wanted to join in on the fun, so we shouted out Z-Ray. We shouted out Metal Goes Zero. I love that fucking name, by the way. It's a great name. Carlos, here we go. Carlos Galvan. Then we're going to do a 4th round of Be the Booker. So don't go nowhere. Do you believe that Pac could have been AEW World Champion sometime in the early years? I just don't know when that would be. That's a good question. It never felt like there was a real opportunity because they had their guys, right? They had Kenny, and then it was Hangman. Obviously, Jericho was the first one, Moxley. So I never felt like there was a real opening for it, but it felt like he would have had a much better chance then than he would now. Like now, I just can't imagine him being the world champion in AEW. But if you would have said that to me 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would have said maybe there was a chance. But if we're being honest, it never really felt like that was in the cards. Yeah. Yeah. And then like Tuxedo said, I don't know if it might have been visa issues, but he was going back and forth so much. He would disappear for months on end. I just don't think that would have worked. Solo should have enough to pay that child support. Yeah, now I could pay to get rid of Solomonster's lost son. Ugh. Broadcaster B. Is that like Grandmaster B from Married with Children? Just watch SmackDown. Why can't WWE load up these hot main event shows with strong undercards? That's a really good question, Broadcaster B. Maybe they want to make the rest of the show so boring that people are just clamoring for a great main event. They appreciate it more. That's my theory. Misfit Wrestling Podcast. CM Punk once called it buy one, get one free night 4 extravaganza. Yes, he did. He said that about WrestleMania. Uffman says it's got to be the shirt. You know what? It might be. This might be my lucky shirt. James with that last $100 bomb says it can only be me. See, James it's like he put Thor's hammer down. It can only be him. No one will show him up. James takes that very personally. Ain't nobody dropping bombs but James. James Crawford. Thank you, brother. Luis is with us. Luis wanted to get in on the fun too with the 10. Oh, sweet niblets. How many more rounds of Be the Booker are we going to get? That was a weird quote, but I would expect nothing less from Luis. It's good to hear from you. And again, Broadcaster, thank you for the 25. Well, like I said, you have unlocked a 4th round. Let me make sure all these sounds aren't going to start popping off when I go back there. All right, I think we're good. Of course, I knew I'd miss one. Fuck. We've been transported back. See, I meant to do that. We've been transported back. We've been transported back to be the booker. There's Venom Katetsu with a 10 to activate Super Cena. This is only $10, but if you squint, it could look like 1,000. I don't know how old you think I am. My vision is not that bad. It is getting worse, but it's not that bad. I don't have to wear my glasses on the streams yet, so 5 years from now, I may be sitting here with these giant glasses on, but right now I seem to be okay. Okay, so we have all of these stipulations to cycle through here. I'm letting it cycle. I want to land on a good one here. You guys have earned this 4th one. Boy, have you ever. A casket match. That's a new one. We haven't landed on that tonight. Why don't we start out with the women this time? I cannot recall there being very many women's casket matches. I'm sure there have been, maybe in TNA or something, but we're going to have one here tonight. That's what we're going to do. Round 4. So now we have tied the all-time record. Somebody said before we did 4 rounds once. Well, now we've done it for the 2nd time. So this is tying the all-time Be the Booker record here with 4 rounds. And we have, in this casket match, Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke. Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know about this one, guys. Oh boy. Dana Brooke and Ivy Nile in a casket match. I don't think the metrics and the analytics are supporting this. So we're going to have to let this one go. We're going to have to let its contract expire. I'm sorry. This doesn't work for me.
Abusika says Bukaki.
I'm the Bukaki ghost.
Oh no. No, not the ghost. No, get out of here. Alex, was that Alex? That was Alex Ochoa. He busted out the ghost. Be the Booker gets him excited. He said, I could tell. Yes, I could tell. But we come on. We have kids watching, for God's sake. Come on now. The Bukaki Ghost. He makes an appearance every now and then. Alex, thank you for the 69. Boy, that sounded wrong. All right, so now we go from a terrible casket match between Dana Brooke and Ivy Nile. Boy, that sounds really bad. We go to, here we go. All right. Here we go. We're ratcheting things up here. We got an Ultimate X match. So how many people? I always forget. How many people are in Ultimate X? Is it 5? 6? It's 5, right? We got to pick 5 people for this. We got to pick 5 people. Okay. All right, here we go. I hope you guys are taking copious notes here so we don't forget. Going to pick 5 people now to be in this Ultimate X match. Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that this man is scaling the Ultimate X structure. I would actually pay a lot of human monies to see the Giant Gonzalez in an Ultimate X match. Only in the video games would you ever see this. You know, I do wonder, as tall as he is, he might not even have to climb. He might just be able to reach up and grab it, honestly. I don't think it's really a fair fight, if we're being honest. That's all he has to do is just fucking reach up, pull the X down. But he's in there. That's 1. We got 4 more. We'd have to raise it. We would have to raise the structure in some way. It's just not fair. The Giant Gonzalez. We have Dude Love. What a lineup this is so far. Razor Ramon is back. Okay. We had him earlier. Razor Ramon, Dude Love, the Giant Gonzalez. This is already better than any Ultimate X match that TNA has ever booked. MJF. I think MJF would just balk at the idea. He would be like, yeah, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing your flippy, climby bullshit match. But of all the people we've landed on so far, he's at least the one that would make the most sense out of all of them. MJF, Razor, Dude, Giant Gonzalez. Okay, so we got one more. I'm keeping it to 5. I got MJF winning this right now, depending on who is this last person. And the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Now, I'm giving this the bell because this is one of the most ridiculous matches that I think we've ever booked. There's nobody in this match who could realistically climb the thing and win except MJF. And it's probably not even going to be much of a match anyway because Gonzalez will just reach up and pull the X down. So, but the question is, would you pay money to see this match? And if you say anything but yes, you're a liar. I don't believe you. It's all about booking attractions here in Be the Booker. So that was what? That was match number 2, right? We got one more. This is our main event, our true main event of the evening. Oh, are you serious? A Mountain Dew pitch black match. Oh, if you remember my review of that show, my favorite stipulation. A Mountain Dew pitch black match. Well, this should certainly be interesting. We go from a casket match to an Ultimate X match to a pitch black match with Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And I'm sure Hogan would not agree to this match to begin with because the word black is in there, and so he would want no part of this match. But I'm forcing him to be part of this match. He has no choice. He has no say in the matter. He will be in this pitch black match, and he will be wrestling. It will not be a pitch black match. This match has now become a fatal 4-way. So the pitch black match is wiped out. No one is more relieved than the Hulkster, I'm sure. We'll keep him in there. So we have to pick 3 more people. It will be a fatal 4-way, traditional fatal 4-way. Hollywood Hogan is already in there. We need 3 more. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who I wouldn't be surprised if Hogan had a hand in sabotaging his little rise to fame back there in '87, but I digress. We have, all right. I thought this was the last name. We have 2 more names. The Great Khali. What's so great about him? Hulk Hogan, the Great Khali, and Ricky the Well, there's the big giant for Hogan to slay. Hogan has to body slam the Great Khali. That's going to be the big moment here in this match. Now we can get the drum roll. This is the 4th and final entrant in this main event. And it will be Ray Phoenix, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the Great Khali, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and Ray Phoenix. There you go. Was that a sweep? I can't even remember the first match I booked here in this round. No, that was the was that the casket match? I don't think that was a sweep. That's a hell of a match, though. It's a very interesting mix of talents in this match. You get a little bit of everything. At least we know who's doing the job in this match. Oh, right. Dana Ivey in the casket. Okay, so it's not a sweep. Well, interesting. Very, very interesting. That at least made it easy to figure out who's doing the job in that match. So we didn't get the sweep, but we just got 4 very entertaining rounds of Be the Booker, and you can give yourselves a round of applause here because the support tonight has been off the charts. It's all thanks to you guys who have come out swinging. Maze the Great says, my super chat was interrupted, so let me try again. There is an organization somehow more incompetent than WWE, the New York Mets. Oh, that is undoubtedly true. And yet, somehow, Steve Cohen keeps coming out and saying, nope, we're going to keep the general manager in there. I'm not making a change. Okay. 5 more years of darkness. And last but not least here, Abyssal Zones with a 3. I'm curious, hypothetically, if Solo Sikoa had stayed with the Bloodline, what would you have rated LA Knight's realistic chances of beating Roman? I don't think I would rate them any higher or lower than I would have otherwise. I don't rate them very highly to begin with. But had he stayed with the... You mean like if he would have joined recently and just stayed with them? I would have at least thought that there was a decent chance that they would do the big swerve on that Money in the Bank show. Roman would defend against LA Knight. That would be the night that Solo Sikoa would spike Roman. Not last week. Or Monday, I guess. But I don't know that it would have radically changed my mind, honestly, on how I think it would have played out. Okay, so Steve Mello has an update for us. He just got home, literally just got home, and I can confirm that listening to that was definitely better than SmackDown tonight. Oh, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Be the Booker was 10 times better than most of SmackDown tonight. Dry chicken actually gets the last word. The Great Khali will attempt to do a backflip on Hulk Hogan. The idea of Hogan and Khali at that stage in their career, because they could have done that match. There was a period of time in the mid-2000s where they could have done Khali and Hogan. And they actually, I don't know if they were ever going to do the match, but if you remember the Raw, was it the 15th anniversary show? I think it was the 15th anniversary show. We got something with them, didn't we? Hogan was wearing like all black, I think, and Khali was there. I vaguely remember this. God, that would have been awful, though. That would have been so bad. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. We've talked about SmackDown. We've talked about the WWE Championship match. We've talked about Blake and Giulia. Gone through your questions. We did 4 rounds of Be the Booker, and you guys have just blown things up tonight. That's how you want to end the week. So I can't thank you enough, James, who really got that train started tonight. But everybody, I mean, everybody, however much or little it may have been, but especially all you guys who dropped those bombs, Alex, James, Z-Ray, Metal Ghost Zero. Everybody, you guys are awesome. You guys put a smile on my face after a hectic week, so I thank you for it. And this weekend, Sunday, will be a brand new episode of The Sound Off. That will be episode 977. That'll include the Dark Side of the Ring recap on Missy Hyatt. And I will give my full thoughts and impressions of the whole Ilya Dragunov story. So we'll get into all that. That'll be on Sunday, probably dropping earlier than usual like it did this week because I have something to do on Sunday. So I'm going to try to get that done earlier in the day. And then the next time I'm live with you here on the channel will be on Monday for the Raw post show. My goodness, if you bring even half the power that you brought tonight, we're gonna have a great night. So that's the plan right there. I watched, so you guys know, I watched X-Men for the first time last night, the OG X-Men from 2000. Because I'm starting my little Marvel Madness marathon. I'm going to try to get through as many of these as I can before Doomsday in December. So X-Men is done. X2 is up next on my list. And then we'll go from there. Anyway, be well. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So Raw has an earlier start time on Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So when Raw ends, it'll be about 8:30 Eastern. My plan is to go live probably around 9. So the stream is going to be going live a couple of hours earlier than usual. So just be aware of that. I'm not waiting until 11 o'clock to go live. So if you want to join me, hopefully you'll be able to join me a little bit earlier. X2 was the best X-Men movie. Oh, good. Something for me to look forward to. Yeah, I thought the first one was it was good. It was good. I put it on par with like the first I don't mean the first Mortal Kombat from 95. The one they did back in 2021 or whatever it was. Like 3 stars, I would give it. So yeah, no, that's good. I'm looking forward to X2. We got a member chat here. 40 months from Sean D. I had a terrible but legitimate question in kayfabe. If 2 women had a first blood match and one wrestler got their cycle, does she have to forfeit? See you guys on Monday.